Hello everyone, welcome back to the Sustainability for Future Generations course, which deals with the concepts, technologies, and global practices. So, in this module number 6, we are going to discuss about the powering the future with renewable energy and its efficiency for sustainability development. As we know that nowadays, availability of the crude oils is a scarcity a lot due to the world wars and wars between the conflicts between the two countries. So, it's the time to think about completely we have to depend upon the renewable energy rather than depending upon the crude oils, and we have to know which one will be the better energy efficiency, energy efficiency based products that will help us to improve the sustainability aspects. Myself, Dr. P. Swaminathan Ratnagiri, Associate Professor, SR University, Warangal. So let's discuss about the renewable energy concepts one to one. So coming to the overview of this session, as we know that what is meant by renewable energy and what are the major renewable energy sources we have, and understand the science and technology in the behind the energy generation and conversion of the renewable system. Conversion should be is very highly needed, and grasp the concept of energy efficiency. Why? Because whenever the output we are giving to the, so how much amount of input we are getting, what could be the better output we are getting, and what is the efficiency of that from that energy we are getting. That's how we can get the energy efficiency concept, especially in buildings. We'll discuss about the in buildings how energy efficiency is there, and industries and transportation. These are the three energy efficiency where we can concentrate and we discuss about the energy and efficiency concept, and we have to understand the how energy efficiency and renewable energy both together contribute to sustainability development. So uh, renewable energy is also is very important. That's how it is contributing to the energy efficiency point of view. We have to increase the energy efficiency, that we should be at least we should improve the 100% of energy efficiency. May not be possible. So we can say that 90 to 95% of energy if you get from the input, so that will be get more benefit from the sustainability point of view. So critical assess in the ethical and socio-economic dimensions to be related to energy trans is very important. So we will discuss about this all points, and we'll conclude that how energy efficiency plays renewable energy helping us to growth for the sustainability development aspects. So we'll go to the introduction to the renewable energy. As we know that energy is central to every human being needs the energy, or any transportation facility or industry. Energy is the one of the important criteria. So nearly 80% of the world's energy still comes from the fossil fuels only. That is the main drawback of energy. Why? Because still we are depending upon the non-renewable energy sources like fossil fuels, which is coming from the earth ore. So, which should be finite and responsible for a significant share of greenhouse gas emission, also one of the important consideration. So then we are, as per the IPC Indian Pollution Control Board sixth assessment report, to avoid the catastrophic climate change, we must. So, what is this catastrophic climate change? This is drastically changes in the climate change, environmental impacts, CO2 emission gases, greenhouse gas emissions. So our responsibility is there to reduce these emissions to the atmosphere. So which requires a complete transition over energy system. That is also one of the best way how we can transit from one way to the other way. How energy can be get more amount of renewable of energy system is more important. So when you think about India is the one of the world's largest energy consumers. Why? Because there is a 150 crore plus population. Daily, how much amount of electricity is needed due to the high, especially in the summer seasons. So, a lot of energy will be consumed not only by industries, not only by the households, not only by the transport system. So, lot of energy is required. So, when you want to requirement of large amount of consumers, energy demand also will be expected to be double by 2040. So, we have to understand the demand, and we have to know how we are going to um, how we are going to get balance this energy requirement by 2040. This is only possible by using of sustainability aspects we have implemented. So hence the sustainable aspects such as renewable energy should be the already Indian government has started electrical vehicles, solar panels, wind energy, hydro energy, geothermal energy. Still, we have to focus on alternatives of fossil fuels like hydrogen fuel energy. So we have to think about what are the sources for renewable energy, and energy efficiency is also crucial. So these are some of the important point we should understand why renewable energy and energy is very important. So why? Because in day to day life, whatever the energy we are consuming, it is only comes from the fossil fuels. So this is one of the crucial point to understand how this renewable energy will help us to betterment of the future. In together with the energy efficiency, that will be the sustainable future. So let us discuss what is meant by actual renewable energy. So renewable energy is derived from the natural sources that replenish themselves over the relatively short time scale. That means every day it can be recycled by using a, so every day we can get the renewable, that means it daily it will be renewable due to the natural resources what we are getting. Sorry, example like such sunlight is one way where you are getting continuously on every day, and wind energy in high tidal waves you can get it from, and flowing water. Unlike fossil fuel, they are not depleted by the by human use. So this was the main agenda by implementing of renewable energy source system. So when you are utilizing of this renewable energy coming from the natural sources, our agenda is to get the lot of amount of sources and new technology, new adoptions and innovation should be there to develop the renewable energy source system. So primary energy is what? Raw form is the coal, wind and sunlight. Now as of now we are depending upon more amount of coal and petroleum products. Final energy is what? We are developing electricity or fuel as delivered to users. So useful energy is what? Energy whenever your conversion losses actually based on the light from a bulb. That was the useful energy. These are some of the basic concepts which is useful to understand what is the difference between the energy, how it is converting and raw form to the useful product. So raw form is was coal, wind, sunlight, oil, diesel, crude oils. Then final energy source, maybe it should be electricity or fuel as delivered to users in transportation or industries. So what could be the useful energy? Energy of conversion losses actually it is used from, we are getting from a source like light from a bulb. So when you are thinking about energy return on investment (EROI) for renewable sources is generally increasing due to technology improvements. Why? Because energy return on investment is solar PV and wind. Now we have competitive or better EROI completed compared to coal. That was the main adapted from the sustainability aspects which is come from the different LC analysis also is adapted here. So our main agenda is to how we could integrate um, from non-renewable energies to the renewable energy source system. So how do we can modify the system in a better way? In future, the demand should be controlled, and we have to think about how effectively we can manage this renewable energy. Say that 2040 is very very crucial. Now we are in 2026. Maybe within 14 years we are will be going to there. So that means the next generation will come into the picture as the middle aged people. So they will be learning about how to conversation of renewable. They should be depend upon renewable energy only. So that was the main agenda of giving this idea of the renewable energy source system. So once you got this energy, so then we can play with this in several ways. So that was the main agenda. Then we have to think about what are the different types of renewable energies we have. As earlier stated, solar energy is the most important renewable energy. We should not leave this one. Why? Because it's a daily routine available, which every place in the earth is a earth. We will be having the sun energy, that is solar energy. So you have to understand this how we can convert the solar energy as the electrical energy. So once you install the solar UV photovoltaic cells made from the semiconductors to convert the sunlight into direct DC, that is direct current electricity. So which will help us directly we can generate the current in the households. So then energy efficiency, that's the reason why solar panel based energy efficiency is increasing day by day. So all of you will be most of the cases it's requested who are they having their own houses, try to install the solar panels at the rooftop and you can generate your own energy which will be renewable, and you are getting your own, maybe the electricity costs may be increased in the future because of you are depending upon the non-fuel base, that is coal based NTPC, or we are going depends upon the different energy sources. So efficiency typically ranges from 15% to 20% only. Maybe it is typically ranges low efficiency, but it requires batteries, inverters, or MPPT controllers to control the energy in a proper way. That is the concept of solar energy. Next, we have the wind energy. So when you think about the wind energy, so it converts the kinetic energy. That means kinetic energy from wind which is blows, it is converted direct to the electricity using turbines which is installed at the wherever the wind blows are very high. So capacity factor is around 30 to 40% depending upon the site. This is very important. Wind energy cannot be generated wherever you want. So we have to locate the proper site for this wind energy. Then only we'll get the bench limit of theoretical maximum efficiency is for this 49.3% is the efficiency for the wind energy. When you install a large amount of high turbines, which will be rotating and get the maximum amount of wind blows, which is converting the current energy from wind to the electricity. So large amount of turbines is needed, turbine blades, and we have to think about the recycling of this turbine also very high rate. So that is the one of the best way. So we have to think about that and hydropower energy. So what is this hydropower energy? What are the potential energy coming from water, which is to convert into mechanical, then electrical energy is converted. So this is a huge amount of process and huge amount of infrastructure is needed and further, okay, whenever you construct a dam, definitely there will be possibility of converting this potential of energy of water into the mechanical to the electrical energy. So types we can generate from the dam-based storage, runoff of river, pumped hydro, what wherever the possible is there, we can do it. So, but efficiency is very high in this hydropower energy, up to 90%, but can cause ecological disruption because of construction of the dams. So that was the main we are upstanding the we are ecologically we are disturbing a lot of the area because of construction of hydropower dams and as well as the high electric motors and turbines whatever we created, but efficiency is very high, but it can be useful large amount of electricity can be generated. So biomass is one way where we have to think about agriculture waste or forestry which are coming from the green air. So lot of energy waste is coming into the picture. So biomass is one point where you people have to think in a better manner. So why I am saying this one is in future, biomass is making a crucial role in the industries. So, organic material which is coming from the combustion, anaerobic digestion or gasification. So, this can be used for the power as well as the biofuels and heat. So, that will help us in a lot way. So, biomass is one way. Organic energy is called net zero energy, which can be used the biofuel, that is heat and energy can be generated. Next one is what depends upon the geothermal energy. So, geothermal energy is one which is coming from the utilization of Earth's internal heat via wells or heat exchangers. So when you are extracting the oils or something, sometimes it will generate the heat. Whenever your heat wave via wells are exchangeable, exchange heat exchangers, so we can catch that heat in a proper way. Then heat energy can be converted into the electrical energy. That is the end product will be the electrical energy. Limited geological active areas because we cannot identify how many of heat generated wells will be available, and we have to geologically we have to identify where the geothermal energy is available. So most of the major types of renewable energies are solar, wind energy, hydro energy, biomass energy, and geothermal energy. So if you implement in a proper hybrid model, wherever the possibility, if solar energy is possible in some areas, you have to go for the large scale installation. If it is possible, wind energy, go for wind energy turbine installation there. If it is huge amount of reservoirs is waters are available, we can go with the hydropower energy. If is a large amount of biowaste is coming, so that biowaste is converted into the biomass, which will be useful for the combustion and as well as anaerobic digestion or gasification. We can generate the power as well as biofuels as well as the heat. So then geothermal energy is one way we have to locate, we have to search it out where it is located as the active areas in geologically. That is the important point we should learn. Then we have the benefits of renewable energy is a lot. As clearly mentioned that there are a lot of benefits in the renewable energy source system. Why? Because as we know that emissions are very low in this one. Only manufacturing of the equipment, whatever needed to be installed, that is only the getting of carbon emissions. Remaining all are say getting low amount of energy is carbon emissions will be there. There is no emissions at all. When you think about the like solar, wind, hydro, emit the negligible greenhouse gas compared to the fossil fuels, helping the fight climate change action. That is low carbon emissions from this energy. So next is the energy security. So what we have now in India, we are facing a lot of issues because of the whole conflicts between the countries. See here, energy security is needed. So reduce the dependence upon the imported fuels. As like I told, we are depending upon the east and northeast, Middle East countries, Iran, Russia, and we are UAE or Dubai. So we are importing several fuels to get the by usage in India. So instead of that, energy security will be carried out by using of our own solar wind energy. solar or wind or hydro and biomass resources. That will be the better efficient way where we can get our own energy system. So we cannot depend upon other countries for the energy. So next one is the decentralized access, very important. So even though you have energy, so where you have to use in a proper way. Supports the electrification in remote rural areas through off-grid solar systems and microgrids. Bypassing the costly grid expansion is very important. So wherever the less usage is there, we have to divert that usage into the high amount of by using of grid solar system. So that will help us to integrate with a large amount of electric without of large amount of decentralized access we can get any by getting of proper grid pattern system we can adapt to the exchanging of power in a proper way, electricity in a proper way. Wherever the high usage is there, we can convert to the grid by grid system, then it is transferred to the lower usage to the higher usage panel. That's how we can get in a proper way. So this is how the benefits are getting about carbon emissions, energy security and decentralization access. Next one is about we can lower the operation cost. We can lower the operation cost. You see here, low carbon emissions we discussed, and energy security is also very important by using of grid security, as well as in because of the large amount of fossil fuels we are depending upon other countries. So we don't have security about that in future. By 2040, we have to be in a secure position. Next was the decentralized access is very important. Then was low operating cost is one of the best part where we are supposed to think. So after installation of renewable requires minimal maintenance. Obviously, there is a minimal, no fuel expense is required for the renewable energy. So that was the best part where we can get off low operating cost. But installation cost is very high. But when you think about the operating cost is very low. So in case of turbines or solar panels, is very important. Water conservation. So whenever your water is conserved, wind and solar energy use nearly no water, unlike coal or nuclear plants, which consumes large volumes of water. Wherever you consider large volume of water is considered for the manufacturing of power through NTPC. So, but when you think about the wind and solar energy, you will conserve the less amount of water is utilized, uh, and at most zero energy will be utilized for the solar system panels. So, and then we have the new generation, that is new job creations we have drives the employment in the panel manufacturing, installation, as well as the maintenance and local entrepreneurship can be developed by the solar panel or installation or getting of high turbine wind turbines we can be installed. So this will be help us to boost up the local economy as well as the local body engagement and the job creation in an innovative way. So try to understand in a better way and you get about what are the benefits we can get from the renewable energy. So it should be highly needed. Each and every individual should be think about the how we can convert the normal energy, that is non-renewable energy, to renewable energy source system. Each and every point we have to think. Those who are in the individual houses, they immediately they'll install the solar panel system. And think about the monitoring of things in IoT based, sensor based, all the things. So you can zero wastage you will be getting. So you have to think about the benefits of renewable energy source system. So then we have the challenges are there. So a lot of challenges are there. You can see the intermittency and shortage of the energy. So smart forecasting with AI is very important, integrating with one. When you are building a sustainable energy future, definitely you have to think about the challenges facing by the manufacturing units. Or otherwise they are developing nation, we should understand what sort of challenges will be encountered by the renewable energy. First one is the intermittency and shortage plan. So advanced energy storage system is needed for this one. As well as the balancing the supply and demand is important. So 24 by 7 you have to generate the clean energy source system. So whenever you think about this, so sustainable development will be happen only with the facing the challenges and getting to the solution from the challenges we have to face. You see here, grid integration, land use. Smart grid integration is very highly important nowadays, and sustainable land use is very important when you are when you are placed in the grid system. And decentralized energy system is can be adapted, and we have the enhanced reliability and efficiency will be improved. So if you get this proper way, definitely there will be a sustainable solution will be arrived. Next, after doing of the high capital investment is one of the most challenging thing. Why? Because initially, for every renewable energy source system, high capital investment is needed. For example, innovative financing solution, you have to get more amount of financing solutions needed, and public-private partnership is needed in the investment. Long-term economic benefits is needed, and scalable and future readiness is needed for the high. Because of this, all these point, these are the challenges we are facing in the next generation. So you have to understand this, and you have to get this one. So what could be the solutions from these, we can lower the carbon emissions, energy security will be there, decentralized access is there, lower operating costs will be there, water conservation will be there, and job creation will be there. And we can align with this one to the SDG goals. What are the SDG goals? Affordable and clean energy. So everyone should have the access to the energy, and you have to be clean energy, that is net zero energy. Then industry innovation and infrastructure facility is needed, and we have the sustainable cities and community engagement by integrating of renewable energy source system. And we have to depend upon the climate action. So we can lower the carbon emissions automatically. 13 SDG goal number 13 will be getting a lower impact, and our climate will be in a production way. Then we have the clean water and sanitation, where you have to think about the as we are thinking about the clean water and sanitation means whenever you are using of renewable energy source system, obviously a proper clean water will be engaged. Because of water scarcity regions, we can go with the installation of renewable energy. So decent work and economic growth also will be improved because of the new jobs creations and having the better growth of the economy. So this all together, they, even though there are challenges there, we have to go with the challenges, and you have to create the innovative way and betterment of the innovative sustainability point of view. You have to get the renewable energy source system. So then we will discuss about the what is meant by energy efficiency. Till now, I have discussed about the what is meant by renewable energy and what are the different types of renewable energy source systems we have, and how we can convert this into implement, and what are the challenges we are facing in the renewable energy. Now we will see what is the meaning of energy efficiency. Energy efficiency is very simple formula. Whatever the output energy we are giving by input energy, so that will be into 100%, it will give the efficiency. So for example, we have LED versus incandescent bulbs, which is used in the olden days. Instantaneous bulbs is 100 volts, whereas LED is 20 volts. But LED uses only 80% of electricity. LED is only 80% less electricity is utilized in the LED bulbs. So that was the main advantage of using of incandescent bulbs versus LED bulbs. So when you think about LED was conversion is because of 80% of less electricity was utilized by the LED bulbs. That was the main advantage of utilizing of LED in respect to incandescent bulbs. So that was the LED bulbs will help us to get more amount of energy efficiency. Next one is the electric motors. Up to 95% of the efficiency will be getting from the modern electric motors have 95% efficiency, which will convert the input energy to the output energy with 95% of efficiency with electric motors. Rather depending upon the fossil fuels based, that is fuel based energy system. Next one is the thermal efficiency, where we are going to internal combustion engines, where you have to think about the internal combustion engines, that is depends upon the petrol, diesel, gas, whatever the combustion engines we have. So they will be having less than 30% efficiency, whereas electrical vehicles are getting 100% efficiency, that is input by output we are getting, in output by input we are getting high amount. So we are getting 85% efficiency. So this is why we can get the higher amount of efficiency by converting from the new technology and new implement of new thermal energy. So second law of thermodynamics is not all input energy can be converted into useful energy due to entropy. We cannot depend on second law of thermodynamics. So when whatever the input energy we are giving energy flow, and it will be useful output energy, lost energy due to entropy is one of the important parameter. So what it matters, whenever you convert using of utilizing of 100% renewable energy, lower the energy bills, conserves the natural resources, reduce the carbon emissions or greenhouse gas emissions, it will develop the sustainability future. So less energy waste always but better for the future, and the future generation people can effectively utilize these whatever the resource we are having now, they can be using better in the next generation. So that was the how energy efficiency will be helpful to us. I hope you understand what is energy efficiency. When you get a higher amount of energy, what will happen? You will use only less energy, and you have to perform the same function. That was a simple basic statement of energy efficiency. Next, we have to discuss about the what are the sequence of energy efficiency, how we are going to impact in social development as well as the sustainability development goals. When you see about there are 3 points where, as I clearly mentioned, we are having three pillars, triple formula, as well as we have the triple bottom line. So in this line only, energy efficiency is going to be the most impactful we can analyze in a smarter use, lower cost, and a stronger feature. So when you think about this, so efficiency reduce the demand as well as the cost. So demand and cost will be reduced. Energy efficient directly lowers our electricity consumption and peak demand, reducing the need for the near power plant. So that will help us efficiency improvements, and it also translates into tangible cost savings for consumers and industry through lowering of energy bills. So then we have lower bills means how high energy savings, so economy boost up will be there. So whenever the high demand is there, you are lowering your energy bills is going to be impact our economy. That was the reducing cost and demand. So next one is the environmental and green benefits. So how you can grid efficient system reduce the greenhouse gas emissions, which will help us to reduce the reduction stress in the our generation and transmission, where the in line with this CO2 emissions will be reduced. So peak load saving, how you can demand side management, where some point where your high demand, so you can convert this high demand wherever the low demand is there, you can make it as grid stability and reduce the chance of blackouts. That will be helpful to manage in a better way. That was the stable grid reliable power system. It is very important. Next, we have enhances the energy security and resilience. So, by reducing the imported fuels, we can develop our own contributions through energy dependence and strategic autonomy. So, for example, post in 1970s, all crises in Japan drastically improves is the energy intensity through innovation and policy reform. So, you have to understand that how effectively we can manage this post 1970s oil crisis, Japan drastically improved its energy intensity through innovation and policy reform. So once they got the drastical imported fuel depends on less depends upon the greater security will get. So Japan case study is one where oil crisis at the 1970 is one of the case study. We can think about that. In 1970 they have lot of crises in the for fuels. Then they depends upon their own renewable energy source system. Then now they are having the good amount of reforms in the energy source system. So this help us. Whatever the energy efficiency is there, we have lower consumption, lower cost, cleaner environment and lower emissions, and stronger grids, greater stability, reliability, security the nation for sustainability future. So by implementing of energy efficiency model, use of energy wisely and build a better for tomorrow generation. That was the main importance of energy efficiency integration with the renewable energy source system. Then we have discuss about the case studies, how the energy efficiency in building is going to be developed. So let's discuss one point by one point. So we have the building envelope installation of double glazing and cool roofs reduce the heat and cooling system in the loads. So where it will helps to maintain our indoor comfort, less energy will be utilized. That is one of the case study in the smart building or sustainability building or green buildings. So why? Because we have to envelope. We have to envelope the buildings with installation of double glazing and roofs reduce the heat, so loads all can be reduced. So you have to understand that, and helps to maintain indoor comfort is very important with less energy usage. Then we have efficient HVAC systems which is used for the VRF as well as geothermal pumps. So the system which will be adequate to adapt to the what is really needs and reducing the wastage of the usage, and we are going to use of this VRF as well as the geothermal pump savings energy in cooling and heating, and we have this adapt to real time needs which is needed to reduce the wastage. Then we have the lighting solutions. So as we discussed, smart controls and daylight integration is very important. Cutting the lighting demand is also proper way we can do it. LED fixtures further lowering of consumption of the lot of energy. So the climate responsive part is going to be designed in a proper way. And we have the passive strategy is use of sun, wind, and orientation of the reducing load is very important. Whenever you going to design your building in such a way that strategical to use of sun, wind, and orientation of the to reduce your energy load. So it reduces the reliance on active system which can be adapted in a proper way. That's how effectively we can manage the proper way. Then we have the green building codes rating system should be adapted in the building construction where you can adapt this green building codes where ECBC and Griha rating and lead, which will promote the efficient design, which will help us to optimum usage of the materials and what sort of recyclable material you can utilize to get a higher amount of sustainability in the building efficiency. Mandatory advisor to new or retrofitted structures needed. So these are some of the important points should be discussed in a lot way. How energy efficiency is needed. So for this, then we have the energy efficiency need in the so we have the energy processing optimization. So in industries, so most of the case in industries, when you think about improving the operations like cement industry, steel industry, as well as the chemical industry. So you try to understand that how to cut the waste energy waste into proper way. Often includes better inputs and equipment controls, and waste heat recovery is also important. Use of ORC systems economizes to capture and reuse heat and cut fuels in high temperature industries. Energy audits and controls is needed wherever the possibilities is there. We can audit the automation, SCADA sensors and VFDS and reveal the inefficiency, enable the real-time adjustment in the energy saving. So wherever the possibility is there, we have to make about the energy audits, automation programs, and we have to think about the betterment of the real-time adjustment for the energy saving. Then we have the co-generation of CHP system should be installed, where you are simulating the power plus heat and generation boost the efficiency plus get the 80% of the widely used refiners to large manufacturing unit. Policy pad scheme is very important. So here BET pads mandates the energy saving targets which will be how the credits for the tradable encourage the cost efficient and accountability. So when you think about the transportation, fuel efficient vehicles like downsized the engines like lightweight materials, better aerodynamics important. So improve the mileage and reduce the fossil fuel consumption is very important. So this is the most important in the fuel efficiency model. Next one is the electrical vehicles. As we know that energy consumption is very low in electrical vehicles from 80 to 95% and minimal mechanical energy losses is there here. So you have to understand that and lowering the cost of the emissions. Then we have the regenerative braking system is adopted where you can recover the kinetic energy during the braking and stores it in batteries. Improves overall efficiency especially in the EVs. Regenerative braking system is also one of the best way energy efficiency. Public transport system utilizing of metros, BRTC, shared mobility reduce our power consumption. So vehicles like private vehicles and modal shift is very important. Non-motorized transport system invest in the walking, cycling, or infrastructure, cut down the urban emissions, promotes the healthy and low energy consumption. These are some of the important points where we think about the energy efficiency in transportation. So most of the cases we have to integrate this renewable energy with the efficiency will be equal to the sustainability. So you have to integrate this renewable energy source system into the better efficiency. You will get the stronger together the sustainability feature. So complementary function, we have to use it out in a better way. So then what sort of things we have to encounter in the complementary? Then we have the border impacts as well as we have to know reduce the rebound effect where your efficiency versus the sustainability usage. SDG number 7, 11, 13 will be most be useful one. So efficiencies today is always the betterment of sustainable for tomorrow. Grid stability and decentralized also act as the more integration and efficiency reduce economy and policy benefits. So use less and save more is the concept of renewable energy plus efficiency equivalent to the sustainability for the future generation. So it will help that case studies which is clearly mentioned that Ujjwala scheme implemented by the government of India is one case study. Energy efficient lighting brighter of India, solar wind hybrids Gujarat model, and SEP net zero campus which is model of sustainable academic infrastructure. SEP net zero campus is one case study. Passive design with natural ventilation and daylighting. Rooftops with solar generations and smart control optimized energy usage. Net zero energy campus for living laboratories. So it inspires the sustainable campus across India in the world. So then we have the Bangalore Metro solar panel installation is very high case study. We can think about rooftop of solar projects. So cut subsidy cost, reduce the carbon footprint, provides urban transport and driving the clean, affordable and reliable metro operation. So one of the world's which is the largest energy program is Ujjwala scheme, solar wind hybrids in Gujarat, SEP net zero campus in India. Then we have the Bangalore Metro Solar case study. These are some of the case study really solutions for real impact and lowering the cost, lowering impact and clean energy, renewable energy, which will improve the sustainability for the future generation. That's how we have to think about in a better way. And we have to incorporate this all the um, reality. We have to improve all the parameters in a better way to integrate the renewable energy. So ethical dimensions one should have to think about the ethical way when you are using of renewable. So equitable access for inclusion is one important parameter. Leave no one behind and affordable electricity for all. Displacement and consent. So larger products like hydropower often displacement, pre, prior and informed consent. Justice for affected communities. As I told, whenever you think about hydropower energy, lot of geological will be consent will be given for the compensation rights will be given And then environmental as well as the waste concern is will be highly important. So whenever waste is regenerated and then your recycle and responsible production and disposal is also important for a circular economy. And livelihood transit is also important. Shift the fossil fuel affect the workers policy must provide the good jobs as well as the renewable sectors will be. So these are the some of the ethical dimensions should be followed when you are thinking about the renewable energy source system. Next we have final summary. One should understand that why renewable energies matters. So always depends upon instead of depending upon the non-fossil fuels, depends upon the fossil fuels, it will create high amount of energy efficiency. Why it matters? High amount of energy efficiency lower the demand and cost is also reduced. And clean and renewable energy solutions will be adopted. And we have why it matters is because of high energy efficiency, low cost, efficiency at the core. So use less energy, ethical and inclusive development, real impact for the India. Where we are addressing is renewable energy. Key takeaways was renewable energy plus efficiency is the stronger together for the sustainability future. So sustainability today, resilient tomorrow. People, planet, prosper. Triple bottom line will be succeed. That is going hand in hand. Innovative policy and driven in the case. So Ujjwala scheme or solar wind energy, SEP net zero campus, Bengaluru Metro. These are some of the case study we have considered. There are a lot of case studies we have to integrate. And I wish all should be integrate this renewable energy source system and make brighter and brighter and help the future generation getting the something we enter the future something should be create the we all together we can create the wonderful sustainability feature in terms of renewable energy, clean energy, net energy, lower the emissions of carbon dioxide, which will help the betterment of the future of the kids which are now with the future generation. So together let's power a cleaner, greener and bright for the tomorrow. Thank you for viewing this session. I hope you all will understand this session. I am heartfully thankful for my viewers as well as the subscribers to view this video and give my maximum amount of likes. Thank you for giving this opportunity. We'll meet in the next session. You can, if you want to contact me, you can contact through my email ID or LinkedIn profile. Jai Hind.